I know many words in the English language have multiple different meanings or ways to use them. However, in today's video, I have picked 10 words that I believe you will come across in your daily work routine or your professional English. And these 10 words all have multiple meanings. So I think this video will be helpful for you to understand the meanings of these words and how you can use them in different situations. I have a word of the day for you today. I haven't done one in a while. So our word of the day today is intriguing. Intriguing is an adjective that can be used to describe something that is interesting or catches your attention, and it is used in exactly the same way as interesting. So, wow, that is intriguing, or this piece of artwork is really intriguing. I like it because I was intrigued by the article you sent me. Have you heard the latest green innovation? It is intriguing. So one last thing before we get started. My name is Catherine. I'm a business English teacher, and I help people with their professional English and English for the workplace. So don't forget to like and subscribe if that is something you need help with. So getting started, our first word is model. Model. As a name for someone's profession, for their job, someone is a model. I think we all know this means they are very beautiful, probably very tall, and they pose for photos or walk on catwalks for designers and brands. However, we can also use model to describe a figurine or statue or sculpture or replica of something. For example, if you are an architect and you want to show your clients exactly what their house will look like before you finish the design or before the builders start building it, you can create a model replica. So it will be a scale size, but very small, so they can see exactly what the house would look like. We can now, of course, make 3D virtual models. So maybe you're a graphic designer or interior designer. You can create a 3D digital or virtual model for, again, your clients to see exactly what it would look like when it's finished. The final way to use this word is instead of inspiration. So instead of saying I got the inspiration from, you can say it is modeled on. So for example, this is my latest design. It is modeled on the gherkin in London. Or my latest painting is modeled on the flowers that grow in my garden. It means to base your design on something else. You are inspired by something. Current. Now, of course, current means present time. So currently, I am filming a video. Currently, you are watching my video. However, when we talk about current affairs or current news, it is global political and social issues that are current at this moment in time. So in the workplace, you might hear people talk about current affairs. They're talking about maybe political situation or the latest news reports. We can also, you probably won't come across this in the workplace, but also talk about current when talking about water. So a strong current in the water means you should not swim in that area. A current is the movement of water underneath the surface level. So on top of the water, it may look very calm, but underneath there is a strong current that moves anything away from its original place. So a strong current can be dangerous. So whilst you won't use this in the workplace, definitely remember this for when you're on holiday. If something says strong current, best not to swim there. Season. Now, of course, we have spring, summer, autumn, winter, or fall if you are learning American English, and those are our seasons. But when we are talking about the workplace season or the season may affect your customer trends, your customer buying patterns, maybe the types of products you're selling. So seasonal products are products relating to the season. Another way we use season is to season something, and that is to add spice or herbs to a dish, to a meal. So maybe you've made chicken and you say, let's add seasoning. Or have you seasoned it yet? It means to add the flavor. Draft. Now, a draft of something can be the rough plan, the first plan. So again, let's go back to the design aspect. If you are a graphic designer, interior designer, architect, you don't want to put a lot of effort into something if your client is going to say no. You've wasted all that time and energy. So the first design you show them is a very rough design. If they agree to that rough design, then the next design you put a lot more effort in. It's the same as writing a business plan. Your first business plan is just, what are you going to sell and who are you going to sell it to? The second time you come to look at your business plan, you're thinking more in depth. So the draft is your very first version of something. However, if you work in a communal space, an office building, and someone says there is a draft here, a draft of air is typically unwanted air, so cold air or air from outside coming in. So let's say, for example, you're working in an office space and someone has left the window or the door open and you are sitting directly in front of it so you can feel this draft of air, this cold air coming in. You would say something like, do you mind if we shut the window? I can feel a draft. Or, can anyone else feel a draft? I think the door's open. So a draft can also be unwanted, typically colder or cooler air. Of course, this can be used in a positive way as well. If the room is really hot, you can say, I can feel a nice draft sitting here. Again, it's cooler or colder air coming in from somewhere else, from a window, from the door, from the air conditioning. There's a nice draft here. To harbor or harbor. Now, the noun of harbor is where boats are stored or kept at nighttime. So obviously we can't just stop a boat in the middle of the ocean. It has to be kept somewhere safe. So you can park your boat. I'm using these because we don't use the term park, we use the term moor. So you moor your boat in a harbor. It is kept safe in an area that is made specifically for boats. But in the workplace, you may hear someone say they are harboring feelings. It means the same as keeping feelings, not letting go of those feelings. So for example, he is harboring resentment about the boss's decision. He is angry, he's upset, he feels frustrated, but he's not talking about these feelings, he's keeping them inside. Or, I cannot work with that colleague because she still harbors anger towards me about the last project. She's keeping those feelings, she's not letting go of those feelings. To harbor feelings is to keep them, to hold on to them. Raise. Now, to raise something is to lift something, improve it, or increase it. So to raise the price, to increase the price of something. To raise the flower beds, to lift up the flower beds. The work she did helped raise the company's reputation, helped improve the company's reputation. However, we can also use the word raise when talking about a pay rise. This is quite American. In English, we would say a promotion or we would say a pay rise. But in American English, you would often hear raise, and sometimes British people do use this as well. I got a raise. It means I received a pay rise. My pay every month increased. I had a raise. I received a raise. We can also use raise when we want to discuss something. So if you're in a meeting and someone says, I want to raise the topic of environmentally friendly cars. They're not lifting an environmentally friendly car into the meeting, but they want to put the topic on the table. They want to be the one to bring it up so we can discuss it. I want to raise the issue of how expensive public transport is these days. They want to discuss it. They want to talk about it, but they are the one to bring it up, to raise it. I was the one to raise the topic about longer working hours in my office. I was the one that brought it up. I was the one that mentioned it, to raise something. Delivery. Of course, we know this is a package being delivered to your house. or to somewhere, the delivery arrived. However, we can also talk about the delivery as the way of speaking, your way of presenting something. So this is particularly good if you are trying to improve your presentation skills or people speaking skills. If someone says your content is fantastic, but your delivery needs work, it means the way you are presenting that information, the way you are talking, maybe your tone of voice, maybe the speed at which you're talking. Maybe you're reading looking down like this. Maybe you're looking over to the side and not really paying attention to the people in front of you. Your delivery is how you are presenting. Trace. To trace something is the same as to track. So therefore, no trace of something means you cannot find it. You cannot find a track. You cannot find a trail. You cannot find where it went. I can find no trace of the evidence that client A sent to me. I can find no trace of the order 775. I can find no trace of the phone call received from company B. It's the ability to find or identify or track something. We can also use trace to talk about a very, very small amount of something. So you will often see on the back of chocolate packets, crisp packets, may contain traces of nuts. This means a very, very small amount. It means there are probably no nuts in the item, but there are very, very small amounts, maybe in the factory that the item was made in. So trace can refer to a small amount. Tender. Now this is a fantastic word, but it has many uses. Tender. So the first is to be sympathetic. She has a tender heart. He was very tender and loving. Sympathetic, very kind, very warm-hearted. It can also mean, when talking about food being tender, it can also mean easy to chew, very soft. So often we talk about steak as being tender steak or tender chicken. It's very soft, it's very juicy, it's very easy to eat, easy to chew. Typically or traditionally, tender has meant money. So what's the local tender? It means what's the local currency? So it means a form of money. So you may see the word tender when transferring or converting money in another country. Now, the hardest meaning of this is to submit an application, a professional application. So let's say, for example, you are applying for a new job and you say, I'm writing to you to tender my application for position. It means you wish to submit your application. And our last one today, weight. Now, of course, we know the weight of something. In kilograms, in tons, the weight of an elephant is 100 kilograms. The weight of a mouse is 0.5 kilograms. But you can also talk about something being a weight, which means to be a burden. It means something that's stressing you out. It's weighing you down. The new project is really interesting, but it's really weighing me down. It means it's a lot of stress. I feel weight on my shoulders. I feel very pushed down and pressured and stressed. Maybe you can say, I can tell that the situation with your family is weighing you down. You're stressed by the situation. And the last meaning is to have an impact. So kind of similar to be a burden, to weigh you down. Something can have weight to it. Your argument has weight to it, or your idea has weight to it. It's like it has an impact. It's solid. I feel like it's a good idea. It has weight to it. So those are all of our words today. I hope there was something helpful in there for you. I know this is a bit of a strange topic because a lot of words in the English language have many, many meanings, but I just wanted to pick out a few that you probably already know, but can use in different ways and different situations to help you improve the fluency and accuracy of your English language. So I hope you have a fantastic day, whatever you are doing today, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.